standpoint, from a football standpoint. Who's going to replace him if he doesn't play this year? You know you're going to have teams lining up to trade for him, but to trade him, you got to sign him. And hey, I'll gladly take him in Detroit, put him with Glover Quinn. I bet Denver would gladly take him next year when they're most likely going to be forced to let Darren Stewart go. There's a lot of teams. The Raiders would jump at an Eric Berry, even though brought in a Reggie Nelson. The San Diego Chargers, who lost Eric Weddle or let him walk to Baltimore, they would take an Eric Berry. Everybody in the league, I bet, would take an Eric Berry. So what's holding up the contract, whether it's he's just stuck on the number of years or the money or the team is hung up on years or money? They got to figure something out. It just looks bad. It's a bad story all around. Here's the best player on your team, the heart of your defense. He came back from cancer, had a great season. Now it's time to pay him, and he won't. That's what it looks like to the fans. The big bad team won't pay because they're scared that maybe he'll get sick again. But they'll take all the money in that he helps generate based on his play. And I imagine they'll get it worked out. And they'll find some middle ground and some kind of bridge contract, maybe similar to what Buffalo's doing with Tyrod Taylor. Some kind of 2-year deal. But it needs to get done. They don't need to be talking about a player of his stature, a player of his ability, not having a deal because he was sick and beat in illness. And they're worried about that. All right, I said something about the Ravens. Let's talk about the Ravens kicker, Justin Tucker. Justin Tucker has said that if he was kicking in Denver, in the confines of Mile High Stadium, he's sure he could kick an 84-yard field goal. That seems ridiculous. The current record held by Matt Prater, who he achieved as a Bronco but is now a Detroit Lion, thank you, Denver, is 64 yards. Prior to that, it was 63 yards, Jack Dempsey, Sebastian Janikowski, and Jason Elam. So Justin Tucker's saying 84 yards. Denver Bronco kicker, got a big leg, Brandon McManus, huge leg, can kick it a mile. Says, okay, prove it. I'll fly you out here, I'll put you up, and if you kick an 84-yard field goal, it's all paid for. And I'm sure there was other terms to try and egg him on to do this. Now, I don't know if Tucker's going to respond and say, okay, let's do it. Fly me out there. Let's go. Let's make a bet. Let's do the thing. But 84 yards, it got me thinking. You don't get to kick a field goal off of any kind of stand. You can't be on any kind of stand. It has to be off the grass with a holder. And, you see guys in Little League, when they kick off the stand, they can boot them. I mean, we had a kicker in high school. He was our running back, and he could kick it a mile off a stand. Everything changes as soon as it's on the grass. So I'm thinking 84 yards. I've seen guys definitely be able to make that from off the stand. College kickers seem to be warming up. You see guys kick off every now and then and it's close. But 84 yards just because you're at altitude. So you start searching YouTube and all of a sudden different posts start coming up about University of Texas kicker Nick Rose. And he has a video out right now of himself kicking and making an 80-yard field goal. So that's 4 yards short of what Justin Tucker's claiming. Not at the same elevation as here in Denver. And it's a college kicker who, doesn't necessarily have the NFL experience. But what we're seeing out of these college kickers is a lot of them have a soccer background or some other kind of background that is enabling them to kick much further than kickers used to be able to. So it's quite possible we're going to see that 64-yard field goal record go down here in the next few years. I could see it. But 84 yards in the NFL level, I don't know. Is it possible to do that in warm-ups or for him to come do that in perfect conditions in Denver? Possibly. Is it going to be something that can be done consistently? No. Will it fall into a game plan ever? I highly doubt it. But it would be cool to see. Fifth down. This is something I'm just going to put out there for everybody to talk about. Now, we know before last season, President Obama pardoned a bunch of people from prison. And one of those people happened to be Denver Broncos receiver Demaryius Thomas, his mother, who was in for a small marijuana crime or something of that nature that was tied into his grandma's drug trafficking or drug business. And grandma was also in jail. So at the beginning of last season, she gets out. She got to see her son play football for the first time. And I'm sure this took a toll on Demaryius throughout the season. She had to watch the games from Atlanta. She wasn't really allowed to travel yet. And now it comes out this week that President Obama has also pardoned DT's grandmother. And it got me to thinking, is this pure dumb luck? Did the names just come up randomly? Or was there somehow some preferential treatment here for the famous wide receiver of the NFL? Because something comes to tell me, and look, great for the Thomas family, great for grandma, great for mom, great for everybody there who's getting back together and able to live out their lives at this point and not have to make the same life choices they made that got them in trouble in the first place. His nice multi-million-dollar contract is going to make sure his grandma and mom are fully taken care of. You can't be mad about their situation. You can be mad that yours isn't better, but you can't be mad that something positive happened for somebody else. It still gets you thinking, is this preferential treatment? Or did the names happen to come up under somebody's search of people that had certain sentences that could fall under the pardon, and somehow in a 12, 15-month span, both of his family members' names came up on that list? That's for you guys to decide. It's something good to talk about. It's more of a society thing than a sports thing, but it speaks to a lot. If he didn't have a name, would both of his family members have been pardoned? I don't think so. I really don't. I think part of the fact is that they had a connection to when they got out, they wouldn't fall back into that same lifestyle, that same drug lifestyle that got them in there in the first place. And being able to have that support system, however, unfair to the rest of us that is, worked out in their favor. And hey, the name was connected. So that's 5 downs. We're going to continue to do that every Sunday. Remember, the new schedule, we got 7 p.m. on Sundays, 7 p.m. on Wednesdays, and 9 a.m. on Saturdays. I'm coming at you early today because the Hall of Fame game was canceled, which if you guys are done crying, I'm done crying. We shed a couple tears, but NFL football will be back later this week. And when we come back from the break, we're going to hit up some headlines before we say goodbye today.
Hey guys, the NFL season is almost here, and you know what that means? Fantasy football is right around the corner. Did you win your fantasy league last year? Would you like to win some extra money playing in a daily fantasy football this season? If so, the DirtCannon.com is here to help. You can get numbers and projections anywhere, but if you want to build a winner for a full season fantasy team, or just looking to win consistently in daily games, then do what I did and join the DirtCannon.com. They have it all in one place, fellas. Whether a bronze member or a silver, they will hook you up. I recommend the silver package. Starting today for the silver package, use my code RDST and you will get a customized 2016 NFL Draft Kit, Draft Day Intelligence, and access to their award-winning lineup analyzer with expert insight and analysis. So win your league, make some money, and take home the bragging rights with the DirtCannon.com. And use Real Deal Sports Talk's promo code RDST. And for the first month, with my code RDST, Get $4.99 off the first month of your silver membership.
Definitely check it out. Remember, soon, in the next week or so, we will be starting the segment with the dirtcannon.com. We will have a weekly fantasy segment with them. I just got to get with the guys over there, talk with them, and see what works best for their schedule, if it'll work better for them to be on Wednesdays or Saturdays. But look forward to that segment coming up. It'll be a weekly segment with the guys over there, and we'll help set your lineups, talk to you about who the best picks are of the week or of the games coming up. And they're going to help you out. They're going to help you win your leagues, help you get some money, things like that. And at this time of the show, let's just hit some other headlines that are out there, some other things that are going on in sports, all right? It's the headline time. All right, this is going viral. Whether you were paying attention to the Olympics or not, if you were into sports, I'm sure you've seen this by now. But men's French gymnast Samir Ati Sayad was doing his vault routine, came down the track, hit the vault, came out, flip, turn, spin, came down and land, snap, crackle, pop! And his leg is broken. And I got to commend him. He didn't cry. He didn't lay there. He felt the pain. He understood the pain. And then he got calm and he laid there and he did what he had to do until they carted his little broken self off the floor. If you haven't seen the video, if you're squeamish, don't go Google it. Don't check the Facebook page to see it. It is on our Facebook page. It is gruesome. His leg is snap, crackled, and popped. Both bones in the lower leg are bent in a 90-degree angle in a direction they should not be going, and it's not at the knee. I can only imagine how painful that was, how embarrassing that was, how down he felt on that stage in the Olympics. I feel for him, I really do. For him to compete and train and put everything into it, and for the bones to just give out on him, that's a shame. It's too bad. It really is. Hopefully in 4 years he can come back and make the French team again and compete next time here in Tokyo in 4 years. All right, I posted this yesterday on the Facebook page. Yankees and Alex Rodriguez reported yesterday that they were going to have some kind of press conference this morning. It was very suspicious. Got a lot of chatter going about what was it going to be about. And it turns out that Alex Rodriguez's last game as a New York Yankee and quite possibly as a Major League Baseball player is going to be this Friday. After which it is reported that he will be signing a contract of some sorts to be a instructor, consultant type guy for the Yankees for at least the rest of the season. Now, I listened to Eduardo Perez today, and he knows Alex. Their kids go to school together down there in the Miami area, and he feels like we shouldn't be talking about Alex's career is done quite yet because the words "I retired" haven't come out of his mouth. And where I agree with Eduardo on that fact, those exact words did not come out of his mouth. When Alex broke down during his press conference today and was shedding tears and got emotional, he said he was done with the team and done with the game. If he wasn't done, D-O-N-E, done, he wouldn't have said that. He wouldn't have been having the breakdown. He talked about how embarrassing and how hard it was to be benched and to be on the bench. Eduardo Perez talked about how hard it was for him to sit out the year that he was suspended from baseball. I truly believe that Alex Rodriguez loved the game, loved to play the game, loved everything about the game, loved the money the game brought him, loved the fame. I believe he loved all of it. And he did anything and everything he could, including cheat, to do that. What I disagree with, and this is where I'll end the story today, is that he shouldn't be in the Hall of Fame. The Hall of Fame is a museum. Now, you can put whatever you want on his plaque, but we're not going to forget the accomplishments of any player just because of what they did. We didn't forget Pete Rose. We didn't forget Ty Cobb. We're not going to forget. He's gone. I didn't like him because of it, but to each his own. He did what he did. His accomplishments are there. And until next time, everybody, thanks for listening. That's my thought. Just be real.